Hi Beaver Nation, I'm Oedipus, and got our ace video camera guy, Pro Magistrate, doing the video work here. Well, today we get to build me a new computer. So, as you can probably see, I kind of did things properly. But before we start unboxing all this stuff, let's come on over here to my case, which kind of sets the tone here. This is a Case Labs TX10. Oh, TX10B actually, because there's a couple different ones. But the first thing you can of course tell is that it's very large. This is actually the largest consumer case you can get, and if you want to go any bigger, you have to get a like half rack or something like that. Yeah, let's flip this guy around, and you'll immediately see that there are two motherboard trays here. This one is reverse ATX, and this one is standard ATX. And the D in TX10D is for the dual systems. So up here you can see we have four power supply deals. Obviously just have my single 610 in there. Down here we have four 1U rack mount spaces, and I just have my PDU in there. But if you want, you can put switches, patch panels, that kind of stuff in there. And if you really wanted to, you could put like a 4U server case in there. But you can't put any rails or anything, so you can't get too crazy. Anyway, flip this guy around, and we can see that the door opens like this. And you can see my beast-ass old P35 system in there. And we're going to be pulling that out with a lot of gusto today and get me something new. And if you want, you can pull out all these panels. They come out rather abruptly. It's actually kind of hard to get them back in. I was kind of surprised how much you pay for this. It's kind of fiddly, but all the panels come off. The doors come off. The top panel comes off. If you want to come over here, you can see there's about a 3-inch gap between the motherboard trays, so you have all kinds of cable management. And it kind of goes without saying that these cases are built for water cooling. You can fit just ridiculous radiator configurations in there. But if you're looking for a water-cooled build, you're not gonna find it, because that's just not my style. But it wasn't really a money issue. It's just I didn't want to, so I didn't. So if you want to go see a water-cooled build, there's a bunch of other ones. Be my guest. Alright, move this around here. Let's get started with all my other goodies that are going to occupy the case. Oh, where to start? Okay, let's start right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to unbox all this stuff, and then some of the more interesting items, you know, motherboard and video cards, that kind of stuff, we'll do a little bit more of an in-depth discussion on. But we'll start right here. Alright, start things off here. We have a 256 gig Samsung 830 SSD. And yeah, that's cool. Moving right along, come over here. It's this guy. And oh hey, what do you know? It's another one. Awesome. So what we're gonna do, throw these two guys in RAID 0, and I'll get 400 and something gigs worth of usable, hopefully not gonna fail on me kind of space, and should get some really nice speeds out of that. Yeah. Traveling right along here. Now let's go to the other side of the spectrum. Open this guy up. And in case you're wondering, I know what's in all these boxes. It's just, I haven't actually opened them yet. And in here, we have 3 of these. Oh, this is tape too. Jeez. 3 2 terabyte Western Digital green drives. And I already have one of these, so we're going to put 4 of these in a RAID 10. And yeah, the Seagates were cheaper, but I don't buy hard drives just to RMA them, so I went Western Digital. And you know, the prices really weren't too bad. These are only like 130 bucks a piece, which I know is like twice what they used to be, but you know, 2 terabytes, that's a lot of space. So I'll be able to put all my porn and all that fun stuff on there. And let's see. Okay, here's where the fun stuff starts. This is hopefully where it starts to get a little bit more interesting anyway. And this guy, okay, look at this. Something a little different, not normally seen in a PB Nation style build. This is a Super Micro, what does it say? It is an MBD X9 DR3-F-0. I find it kind of funny. All the pictures on the box are of their old products. That none of the pictures on the box are what's in the box. So let's crack this guy open real quick. And get all this garbage out of the way. And we'll probably come back to this one, just so you can kind of see what we're dealing with here. This is a dual socket 2011 board, 16 DIMM slots, 3 PCI Express X16 slots and 3 X8 slots. And this has the C606 chipset, so it has the SAS ports. And you know, this kind of brings me to one of the points I was going to make. Originally, I really wanted an SRX, but you can't overclock the Xeons, and it's not out yet, so couldn't go for it. But this will do just fine. And yeah, like I said, we'll come back to this. And we'll wait on that one. Yeah, pop this guy open. And of course, no server style motherboard is complete without a couple of these babies. These are socket 2011 Xeon E5-2650s. These are the 8-core, 16-thread processors. These are actually on the low end of the range. These are only 2 gigahertz, I think. 2 gigahertz. But it'll thrash any Opteron out there. So let's see how many flame comments I get on YouTube for saying that. But it's true. Look it up. Seriously. Okay, in the Xeon board, I have 4 8GB ECC DDR3 DIMMs. These are the 1333 speed. Nothing really crazy there. But, oh actually, no, we can't do that yet. In this box, I have 4 more of those sticks. So each CPU will have 4 for a total of 64 gigs. And it'll all be quad channel, super duper, mega awesome status. And 4 makes 8. So let's do all these in a row. Yeah, awesome. Let's put those right here. Do this one last. Let's start in with this one. This is where I started to get my money's worth out of buying the dual motherboard capable case. I've been waiting to do this for like a year, actually over a year. So I fully intended to do everything quite properly. So, of course, we get the MSI Big Bang X-Power 2 X79 board. And yes, this is the one that has the bullets and the minigun and all that crap on it. But it's matte black, and it has 7 PCI Express slots, XL ATX, and yes, it does look a lot better in person. The bullets still look like something out of Duke Nukem, but I can live with it. And again, we'll talk about this a little bit more later too. Oh, yeah, and I'm sure you have spotted these. 64 gigs of Dominators for the X79 board. I was actually kind of surprised that these are clocked as conservatively as they are. They're 1600 megahertz, but they're like 10, 27 timings. I'm hoping that I can improve on those. And it's just conservatively clocked from the factory. And let's see, on the X79 board, we're using Epic T1000 thermal interface. This is kind of like Indigo Extreme. Well, actually, it's identical to Indigo Extreme. It's just that they rebadged everything. So everything has Epic on it. This is the Epic cleaning solution. It's alcohol as far as I know. And it even comes with the little nitrile gloves and everything. And unlike normal thermal interface material, this is like a liquid metal kind of stuff. So you put these little film deals in between the CPU and the heatsink, and then you heat the CPU up to like 100 degrees Celsius, and that flows the metal. And once it does that, it works really, really well. And it's probably the best thermal interface material you can get. But this was $30 for this. And it only has 2 applications, so we need to make sure we don't screw it up. Otherwise, Jeff is going to be mad. We don't want that. Alright, let's go over here. And we'll expand on the X79 setup a little bit. As you probably noticed, I have 3 sockets and only 2 CPUs, and that's not going to fly. Packing. Okay. i7-3930K. I couldn't justify the extra $500 on the Extreme version for 3 more megs of cache and maybe a slightly better band. That doesn't really make any difference to me. And then we have the retail box Plex Store Blu-ray burner. I thought they would just send this wrapped in bubble wrap like they normally do, but I guess not. I don't know when I'm ever going to burn Blu-rays, but I like to know that I can. Oh, and I have a bunch of SATA cables too. Really thrilling stuff right here. It's some. Okay, yeah, I have 6 of these. They're all 3-foot SATA cables. All the little stuff. Yeah, you need that little stuff. All right. Let's do this one. So, what kind of video cards do I get? Well, I know the 680s just came out yesterday, and I just got these like 2 days ago, so I was kind of mad. But I run 5760 by 1200, so these will come in handy. 2 gigs just not enough for me. So, went with Sapphire 7970s. These are like pure reference, plain Jane 7970s. I really wanted the Lightnings. A couple, 2 or 3 of those would have been sweet, but of course MSI couldn't get them out in time, so I just got the bargain basement 7970s. So why stop at 1 when you can have 2? And hell, why stop at 2 when you can have 3? So hopefully the drivers and everything work out, and at least some of my games support Tri-Fire, Crossfire X, whatever the hell they call it. But regardless, I'll be smoking. Big time. Mucho fast. And to wrap this portion of the video up, crack open this guy. I'm probably going to catch some heat for this. Because, oh, there he is again, just wasting a bunch of money. But I don't care. Oh, super bad on Blu-ray. Awesome. I forgot about that. Okay, got a couple of these Hyper 212 Evo cooler dealy whackers for the Xeons. They cool well enough, and they're not really big because the CPUs are kind of close together. You don't need some NHD 14 thing hanging off there, because that wouldn't fit. And oh, here we go. Yeah, awesome. Okay. Corsair AX1200 1200 watts of perfection right here, and has enough cables and everything. It'll do what I need. And I thought, you know, I need 2 power supplies, so why should I get a different second one? So I got 2. Now, obviously one of these is going to be for the dual Xeon system, and it's really not going to be working very hard. But see, the problem is that on this case, one of the boards is reversed, and the power supplies are at the very top, so it's a really long run down, like for the 24 pin and the 8 pin, and the big power supplies have longer cables. So I didn't want to jerk around with a bunch of extensions and all that kind of stupid crap, so I just got 2 of these. And I'm kind of OCD, so they'll match, and that's always a plus. Oh, wait a minute, I have one more. One more. Turning into a box graveyard. This stupid thing. Okay, it's a big box, but there must be a lot of packing in here because it can't be that big. This came from overclockers.uk, I believe. This is one of those things you can only get in Europe. So hopefully it's worth it, because I paid like 40 or 50 bucks just to ship this stupid thing. Customs bullshit. You know, I said no water cooling. Oh, actually, before I continue, no, I cannot use the all-in-one water coolers on there because the hoses are too short. It's a gigantic case, and the hoses on the H100, H70, all those are way too short, so it would never work. So I got this guy. This an Alpenphone, something, pardon my German, K2, also known as Mount Doom. It's a lot like the Noctua NHD14, the Thermalright Silver Arrow, and Phanteks PHD14, whatever it's called. Let's see here. Your eyes don't hurt when you look at it, and that, to a point, that's really important to me. I don't think it cools quite as well as the Thermalright or the Noctua, but it sure looks a hell of a lot better. So, yeah, that's that. And I got some, oh yeah, I'm probably on the mailing list now. That's great. I just need another catalog for a British computer store. That's sweet. Well, anyway, we have one more of these. AP15. These are the sought after ones. One more of these to put as an outlet fan. So that'll make 10 General Typhoons in that case. And well, let's top this all off. Come over here. Okay. Because I'm going to have 2 systems running, and they're going to need to be running all the time. Pardon my power bill. Eesh. But I have a Aqua Computer, Aqua Aero, again, pardon my German. I don't know how the hell you pronounce that. But it does a lot of stuff, and it can do like pump control and lighting control and stuff like that if you have a water cooling system. But the way I'm using it right now, it's fan controller. So this right here goes to USB header on one of your motherboards. This goes to a fan splitter thing, which I need to work out the wiring on that because it looks like crap. And then obviously you have your power here, but there's a program that you run on your computer, Aqua Suite, I think it is, and it'll let you do all kinds of really crazy shit. With temperature curves, like at this point in the curve, your fan speed is going to be 46% or whatever. So it's really customizable, and you can get everything as silent as possible. And since I'm going to have to be sleeping in the same room where this is running, that's really important. And last but not least, we have this. Figured we'd end on a high note.
30 seconds left.
How do you get a game that would really stress the system out? Metro Crisis, that's not enough. Got some motherfucking Redneck Rampage from 1997. A lot of people call it a Duke Nukem ripoff, clone. I think it's badass. So that'll wrap it up for this video. We'll touch base on the motherboards a little bit later. and stay tuned for all kinds of pics and all kinds of other shit. And we'll